Brooke. Thanks for coming back. It's nice to see you again. So I kind of just wanted to start off today's session with another agenda setting like we had done previously. So basically today I kind of wanted to focus on, why you're coming in here, maybe like a reason for referral, and kind of just discuss problems that you see and any other issues. Of course, this isn't, just about what I want, so is there anything that you have in mind that you would like to focus on today as well?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Are we gonna check in about the homework from last week?
Yes, we can do that. So why don't we'll check in with the homework first, and then we can kind of move into discussing, what's been going on. Does that sound good?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how did the homework go? Do you want to talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was kind of why I asked.
Mm-hmm.
I totally started and I tried, so you can see I was doing that thought record that we kind of talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did one situation, but it was it just made me really sad. So I really just did that one situation. I'm obviously you can see that I did it, but
Yeah.
I just did the one. I don't know. It just it made me feel sad and kind of stupid.
Okay, so that's big. You felt stupid. So was there a point in time during that activity or during that situation where you noticed those feelings?
I guess it was after I finished writing it all down,
Mm-hmm.
I felt stupid that oh duh, of course you got upset. It's because of this. Afterwards it feels it's all so obvious that it makes me feel stupid for even being upset in the moment.
So it seems like you feel like you should have already known kind of how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay to do an activity and have questions around it. So thank you for sharing that as well. Were there any other barriers to kind of completing this or any other thoughts that you had?
Yeah, I mean, after I did the first one, I guess it was just kind of this is hard. I'm not gonna do that again.
So maybe why don't we go through that situation? We can kind of go through the thought record together.
Yeah.
Because it seems like maybe did I not explain it as well? Or is there any confusions with specific parts in the homework maybe?
No, it it all made sense. It kind of made too much sense.
Okay.
So you'll see here, so I have this really stupid situation where I got in a fight with my mom, and then I freaked out and I yelled at her and said all this stupid stuff, and then I was going through this thought record, and a lot of the stuff that was coming up for me was oh, I'm never gonna move out of my mom's house. Those were the thoughts I was having, and that's when I got really upset. I don't even want to write this down anymore. It really sucked to put down all the stuff I was doing.
So it seems like this activity kind of triggered these automatic thoughts of, I'm never going to move out of my mom's house, a lot of feelings of sadness, feelings of feeling stupid, and we kind of talked about previously, along with depression, there are certain things maybe that might trigger those, and how I explained how we have automatic thoughts. So, what kind of pops into your head when a certain situation arises. I do appreciate you doing this activity because you did put a lot of work into it. So thank you for doing that. And let's see if we can, so kind of going back to the situation. You said that there was something that your mom said that upset you, and you reacted by yelling at her. Could you kind of talk about maybe what she had said to you that upset you?
Yeah, I was just getting home from work and I called her just to like see what she wanted to do for dinner. And I was just like trying to be nice, I guess. Like I could get something started for
Right.
both of us, or like I don't know if she like had something planned. But she just said to me like, "Why are you asking me this?" And like the way she said it, like I got really mad, and I don't know, like my throat like really swelled up. She was like, "Why are you asking me this?" And I just said, "'Cause I thought you were my fucking mom." And I just hung up.
Okay. And how did she react to that?
She called me back, and she, I don't know who you think you're talking to like that. You're living under my roof, and and then I was, I'm going back and forth, like, you don't have to rub it in my face, like, you think I don't know, like, I was just calling to try to be helpful. I might have called her a bitch, and then I hung up again.
Okay. So we kind of have the situation where you were trying to be helpful, and as you described it, your mom had kind of like a tone, right, and got angry at you. So you kind of reacted, and your first, I guess your first reaction, impulse was to kind of curse and then hang up the phone. And then she called you back, and it kind of continued a little. So when she was saying those things the second time she called back, what was kind of going through your mind?
It's weird because, like, on one hand, I was really pissed at her, and I was like, she doesn't even know me anymore. Like, she can't, like, be saying this stuff to me. Like, she's so, like, she's got her own stuff. Why is she, like, saying this to me? But then it was also, like, you're so pathetic. I can't, like, believe you're even, like, fighting with your mom on the phone. It's like you're 12. Like...
So it seems like you have a lot of feelings towards her, but you also have feelings about yourself that it almost sounds like you're, like, shameful and guilty for kind of reacting the way, that you did in that situation. Am I getting that right, or is it little...
That's totally what it was. And I think that's what was coming up for me, like, as I was writing it down. Because, like, I know that this isn't, like, how I want to be acting. And, like, I don't know. It's stupid.
Okay. So, and I do hear a lot of, things from you about being stupid. So what do you feel like is stupid about yourself in this activity? Was there... kind of like how I said before, when you felt sad, at what point did you feel sad? So kind of bring it back now, at what point did you feel like in the activity that you didn't feel smart enough to complete it or kind of go through it?
I guess when you have to, like, write down your behavior, it's, like, embarrassing.
Okay.
Because, like, when I was writing it down, I wasn't upset anymore. So it's, like, embarrassing to think of how you're acting. Okay,
so you felt embarrassed by your behavior. So kind of thinking back about that situation. So we know what happened. If this situation was to ever arise again, because, we're bound to get in arguments with our parents sometimes. How do you think you might handle it differently?
Well, I feel like I definitely shouldn't have, like, yelled at her, and I shouldn't have, like, been on the phone with her. It's like, but I didn't know, like, how to disengage. Like, I don't know, like, how I would disengage next time. It's so hard not to just and like try to get a burn in,
Right. So I heard a lot of shoulds. So shoulds, are things that we want to do or we feel like we should have done. So we can take those shoulds and use them as goals for ourselves. So when you said I shouldn't have reacted that way, what is an appropriate way that you would like to kind of work towards getting to?
So, like, so instead of, like, I shouldn't react, it's like I should be cool when my mom stresses me out, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. And how do you think we can reach that cool part with your mom, not feeling stressed? How do you think we could get to that point?
know. I really don't know.
Okay, so what we can do is kind of, if you're up for that, as part of like a treatment plan, we can have that as a goal for yourself, and then we can think of maybe 2 or 3 ways that you can work on kind of getting to that place.
Yeah.
And then as far as the thought record went, I know it seemed like maybe it was a little bit difficult for you because it brought up feelings about yourself, like you said, feeling stupid and kind of feeling guilty and embarrassed. I heard a lot of that. Would you be willing to maybe try it again after talking about it in today's session?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, can I do just one situation?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say you seemed a little hesitant. I
Yeah.
saw you kind of look down. So is that kind of maybe what is the barrier for this activity? Why don't you kind of talk to me and tell me how we can make this activity work for you?
I mean, I don't know. It was hard to do just one situation last week.
Uh-huh.
And that kind of was what it was. Like it felt kind of bad doing one, so I was nervous, like if I would do a bunch, what I might notice about myself. So if I could just maybe do like one situation this week, I don't know, maybe it won't feel like as bad.
Okay, so it seems like it's not the activity that you're afraid of doing, but it's what is going to show about yourself. Is that kind of what you feel? Okay, so since we're getting close to the end of session, why don't we do we'll do one situation for the homework. Is that agreeable? Okay, so let's do that. Yeah, that's okay. And then we can spend next session kind of talking a little bit more about what the activity brought up for you, and also the new situation, maybe kind of see if your mood maybe changes from when you started with the situation to the end. So maybe if we can do a scale of 1 to 10, so 1 being very depressed, 10 being not depressed at all, and see if you can pay attention to your mood before and after. And we'll talk more about that and see how that goes. Is that good?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so why don't we kind of transition to talking about what the presenting problem is for you. So what we didn't really get to talk much about it the first session. So if you want to tell me a little bit about why you did come into therapy, and maybe if you were referred here or you came here voluntarily, just give me some background information.
Yeah, well, my mom did suggest that I come in and start like talking to someone.
Mm-hmm.
She is in therapy and finds it really helpful.
Okay.
So she thought that I would find it helpful too. I don't know. I know that like I want to do more stuff. I don't always want to feel like really sad.
Right.
Like I feel like that's all I really said last time. Just like I feel really sad, and I don't know. It's like there's nothing I want to do. Like even when I try to do stuff, it like ends up being a fight, or it ends up like being like some drama that just like makes me feel worse. And I feel like I don't even know what to say other than just like it's like sad and like drained and like I don't know. Like it's not like I'm like crying or like hysterical. I'm just like.
Is it almost like feelings of numbness or?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you brought up how you felt sad a lot of the time. So let's kind of think about this past week. How often did you feel sad? Let's say how many days out of the week?
Like out of like 7 days, I would say like every day.
Okay, so every day you felt sad. And can you recall how long the sadness felt? Was it the majority of the day, only in the morning or at nighttime?
2 days, it, like, lasted all day.
Okay.
And then, like, the other days, it would kind of, like, just come on, like, at hard times, like, around dinner time or, like, before bed.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it wouldn't be, like, all day.
Okay. So, I heard morning and at nighttime predominantly. I know you said you kind of had it throughout the 2-day period for the majority of the time. So that makes me wonder, how is your sleep been?
It's been kind of shitty lately.
Okay.
Like one day I'll have like a really good like night's sleep, but then like the next day I'll like sleep until noon and just like not be able to get up. So then I'll stay up really late and I can't fall asleep, and then I feel like I lose like the progress that I made.
Okay, so it sounds like it's not a normal sleeping pattern for you. What time would you normally go to sleep?
Oof, I mean honestly, anywhere from like 9 to 2.
Okay. And this is currently?
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that we could work on, so it's important, with depression, I guess you could say a part of depression, it affects your sleeping patterns and ability to kind of fall asleep and stay asleep and have a good quality of sleep. So with depression, you can kind of see that you're experiencing this abnormal sleeping pattern. So kind of like how we talked about the treatment plan before with the one goal that we agreed on, maybe we can kind of incorporate another goal if you're up for it, which would be to kind of start going to bed at a certain time that is good for you, and then kind of keeping track of how the quality of sleep has been going, and see if maybe we can start seeing a difference in your mood when you wake up in the morning. How does that sound?
Hard, but really good.
Okay. And what is hard about it? Why don't you kind of explain that a little bit to me so maybe we can work on that?
I like to stay up late when I want to. I don't know, like, it's weird, like, if I'm having fun or if I feel happy, I'll stay up later because, I'm, like, feeling happy.
Right.
Let me, like, read a book or call a friend, like, to kind of, like, take advantage of it.
So I heard that you're reading, you're calling a friend. What other kind of things do you do right before you go to sleep?
Well, it depends. Like, if I'm feeling sad, like, I probably, like, won't have gotten out of bed that much, and I'll just, like, fall asleep randomly, as opposed to, like, if I'm, like, getting ready for bed, then I, like, try to do more stuff before bed, if that makes sense.
Okay, and then what kinds of things you do before bed?
Well, if I have work the next morning, I really try to, like, be good the night before. Like, I'll shower before bed, like, I'll do, like, something relaxing, I'll, like, get in bed, like, turn off all the lights, and just, like, try to really, like, get a good night's sleep.
Okay, so we can spend some time also in next session maybe talking about what things help you relax and maybe incorporating those into your bedtime routine. And then we can use another scale where you can keep track of your mood kind of before and after. That way you're able to see what works for you. And maybe, it's almost like a trial and error. There may be some things that work, some things that don't. So that will kind of help us guide treatment as well. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, good. So we kind of discussed about what happens on the good nights when you feel like, you do feel happy, you're kind of getting yourself ready for work for the next day. But I'm kind of interested in what you do when you have a bad day. Could you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, on those nights, it's like I'm not exactly going to bed. It's like I'll just pass out.
Okay, could you explain that?
Like I'll be on the couch watching TV and I'll like fall asleep on the couch and just sleep there for the night.
Okay.
Or if like I'm having a glass of wine in bed, I won't like mean to go to bed. I'll just like fall asleep.
Okay. And then when you do those, do you stay fully asleep during the night, or do you wake up at all?
Yeah. Like, if I'm on the couch, I'll wake up and,
Okay.
like, go up to my bed eventually, or, like, I don't
Okay.
know, leave the TV on.
Okay, so right, so falling asleep on the couch, it seems like, do you get, like discomfort and that kind of wakes you up, or does the TV wake you up?
Or my cats, yeah.
Or your cats, okay. So, when you fall asleep in bed, do you feel like you have a better quality of sleep? Okay, so we're noticing that if you do watch TV and fall asleep on the couch, this causes a lot of discomfort. There's more room for distractions, like you said, your cats, the TV, the couch not being comfortable. So another thing we can work on is having, we already talked about setting a good time, but also making sure that when you are ready for bed, you are falling asleep in your bed. That way, you're more likely to have a better quality of sleep. Does that sound like I'm on the right track with it?
I know that's what I should be doing.
Okay.
Or working towards.
Okay, right. So that was a good correction. You had a should, and then you kind of said, all right, well, let's use that should as a goal, and now I can work towards it. So it's very good. So kind of bringing it back to your reason for referral. I know you talked about how your mom was going to therapy, and she kind of thought, well, maybe this would be good for you. So what I'm interested in is, what exactly was your mom's reason, or what did she tell you as to why she wanted you to go to therapy?
Yeah, she said she was worried about me, and that she wanted me to kind of snap out of whatever that I was going through, and she wanted to see me back to normal.
So snap out, that's kind of a big
right.
So what did she kind of explain to you what she meant by that? I know she said snap out, and I heard getting back to your normal self. Could you try your best to explain about that?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I feel like she just wants me to be some way soon.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay, you got your appointment, check.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, so your mom has these expectations for you, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm in therapy, I'll be good to go really soon.
So do you have any expectations for therapy? Have you ever been in therapy before, or what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I've never been in therapy before.
Okay.
I felt like it would be helpful just because, it's time for me to, talk, and I don't, have that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know, then I also feel like we do other stuff, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of, I don't know what, my mom expected that she would, I don't know, be, noticing we do all of these things. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Okay. So, do you have any questions for me, since this is, your first time in therapy, but it is our second session together? Do you have any questions at all?
Not really.
Okay. I mean, if there are any questions that you come up with over the next week or at any point through treatment together, please feel free to ask me, and I'll answer them as best as I can. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are getting close to the end of our session today. So I do want to thank you for being open and kind of honest as far as the homework and everything went. I really do appreciate it. So how I kind of end sessions like we did last time, if I can have maybe a little bit of feedback about what you learned through this session, and even let's say we could talk about homework that you have to do over the next week.
Yeah, so let's see. For homework, I'm going to do the thought record again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to do the one situation, not going to freak myself out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to do that and deal with what comes up,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. Feel good about that.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it was cool today when I was saying like stuff I should do.
Right.
And you like reminded me that like those were my goals. I feel like that was really cool. And just like helping me kind of be nicer to myself.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you were able to learn something from today's session. I find that very important because I always want to have some type of educational component to our sessions. So I appreciate the feedback. That helps me as well kind of know what you like as far as therapy, so that I am able to incorporate that into our future sessions together. And then also with, speaking of our future sessions, do you remember when our next session is?
Yes. Next Thursday at 2?
Yes.
Yes.
So next Thursday at 2. Do you have anything else that you would like to say before we end for today?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I will see you next Thursday at 2 then.